People love tarot readers, astrologers, when they're watching a collective reading with 300,000 likes, mind you, where somehow all of you are having your cheating ex come back because they finally really love you. They don't. Or you're being told you're going to be the first millionaire of your family this year. By the end of the year, you're going to be coming into so much money and you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to try. You don't have to change any habits. It's just going to happen for you. And then when it comes to like making a prediction for a major world event that has so many moving parts, all of a sudden it's like, all you little show monkeys, all you little astrologers who got that wrong, yeah, you are a fraud. And it's because you guys maybe watched Disney movies growing up where you see people like looking into a crystal ball. I don't know why people are under the impression that like we're doing a magic trick. Tell me why every time I go out and someone asks me a job and I say astrologer, they're like, tell me what it says. And I'm like, when did I ever say I could read a palm? 2 brain cells up here. So I just want to say, when it comes to the astrological predictions, especially if everybody's on the same damn page, like, please, I don't think people understand the complexities of what it means to cast a prediction and how there's still human error available. And it's not to say if things did not play out the same exact way that you said it, that you are inherently wrong. Because when you're looking at astrology, astrology doesn't make things happen. It's reflecting what's already happening, the energy that's present. So energy can be present and not look to us the way that we thought it was going to look. Okay. So I'm going to read to you guys what my astrological predictions were. I always say I'm happy to be wrong. I joke about always being right. I'm literally not. I've gotten things wrong before. I will get things wrong again. Like, anyone who does anything like this, or even anyone who just has like a certain amount of people following them, knows that like one of the scariest things you can be told is you never miss. Because it's like, I'm about to miss. And I want to walk you guys through what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at in the stars when it comes to what we're seeing with the election. Also, I do live in Tampa, Florida right now. I moved in the middle of the hurricanes. Interesting time to be a temporary Floridian, okay? So for you guys that follow me, I'm not in my office right now in Connecticut anymore. I'm literally using a white screen 10-hour YouTube video right now to light me up. I tried to overnight a ring light, so we're gonna try to fix the visuals soon. I have not been on here in quite some time. If you are not following me on Twitter, you need to be. That's where I post all of my predictions. I do have a thread of accurate predictions. Usually most of them have to do with like celebrities or even just like world themes that are happening. As far as politics, Trump assassination attempt, Biden stepping down, Kamala running for president through memes, were some of the things that I've already hit the nail on the head with. I've been asked if I'm a political astrologer recently. I would not call myself that at all, but obviously when we're having something like an election, people are asking me to put my 2 cents in. So I said Kamala was going to win. I predicted Trump would win back in 2023 when he was still going against Biden. So obviously a lot of people got mad at me, especially people that are like Trumpers that followed me for that prediction, because they're like, but you said he was going to win, and I was like, yeah, but all astrologers can only deal with the variables that are put in front of us and then looking into those variables. Just thought Biden was going to die. I'm still surprised Biden's kicking, okay? I thought he was going to die a while ago, and a lot of other astrologers did as well. Now, is that something that could be happening like now? Absolutely possible. I'm not gonna like make such a hard statement. Would I be surprised? No. Especially because the reason that I predicted that Kamala would win is because a lot of things in her chart do point to stepping into a position of authority, being taken, more seriously, being respected as such. It's not to say that Trump's chart, like I think also people have a misconception that you look at Kamala's chart, you look at Trump's chart, one of them's good, one of them's bad. That's almost like never the case in situations like this, where it's going to be like a landslide of the other person just having incredible transits and the other person very, very, very obviously losing. They both have good stuff going on. They both have bad stuff going on. Both of them have very turbulent stuff going on in the next few weeks. And that's what's kind of complicating everyone who's, looked at this through the lens of divinity to be like, okay, Trump won, that's it, we're done. Like, there's a lot of fussiness and energy around what's coming in the next few weeks, months, honestly. The best way I can describe this is that I got interviewed for HuffPost. There's a full video on YouTube about what I talked about with her. I didn't get to say nearly as much as I wanted to say, but I was saying if you were to slide me, you know, both Trump's chart and Kamala's chart and ask me who's getting a promotion, I would say Kamala. But the thing with predicting something like this, that's like a world event that's going to affect people at large, is you don't just want to look at the birth charts, you want to look at the collective, like, world astrology and how those two things coincide with one another. Now, immediately off the bat, I was like, why are we gonna have two presidents? Why are we gonna have literally two presidents? Because I do think Kamala is gonna win on paper, but I do think that Trump, because his chart is so active for the next few years as well, like undeniably so, where, you know, this isn't something where he loses and he slips into irrelevancy. This is something where he could possibly lose, in my mind, prior to the election and get louder. And knowing his supporters and how hard they ride for him, that they're gonna be like, actually he won in our book. He's the president. He's the president and we are gonna respect him as such. So in my head, I thought Kamala would win the presidential election, but Trump would win in his own mind along with his followers, and then we would have essentially people following Trump as their leader and then following Kamala as their leader, which very well could honestly still happen, because again, the energy is still there. It doesn't make it right or wrong. The energy is still there. Kamala still has this like respected influence, and Trump still has a lot of chaos going on. It doesn't go away, you know, just because we thought it was going to manifest one way and it ended up not happening. So Trump, the thing is too, like, a lot of people have been looking at his zodiacal releasing, like, and his Uranus return, which coincides with the USA's Uranus return, which is essentially going to shake up, okay? Trump, like, almost in a way represents America with that, along with Pluto still dancing on the edge of Capricorn. And honey, once she comes back into Aquarius, which I believe is on the 18th of November, 17th, 18th, she's gone. Pluto's never in our lifetime going back into Capricorn. So if you've even been following me on Patreon for years, you know I've been talking about this since like 2020, 2021, that the country as we know it it's going somewhere else. Like, I don't even think we're gonna vote the same. I don't even think we might not have like a bipartisan sort of situation anymore. Things are gonna look really different moving forward. I know a lot of people have a hard time following the terminology, so I'm just gonna stick to like what I actually predicted. I think that Trump is going to go down swinging. I do think there's a lot of chaos for him on the table. I am interested in his health, whether that's mental decline, physical illness, or Mars-influenced accidents. I definitely think that there's a high possibility of more than a few assassination attempts. I don't think it's just going to be one, especially now through Inauguration Day, but even through like his term. If he stays in office through his term, it's like one thing after another, whether it's through a plane, whether it's getting shot. Like, there is just so much potential violence and aggression on the table. What I think is something to pay attention to as well as November 15th. So again, right before Pluto goes back into Aquarius and stays there, because we're going to be having a full moon conjunct Uranus, and Uranus has been on his midheaven for quite some time now. Now, and then also when we get into January, we're going to be dealing with energy that was present in July when he had his first assassination attempt, and when Biden stepped down, and when Kamala ran for president. So obviously, this is something where we're getting like a deja vu, where it's like, okay, how can this play out? Trump assassination attempt, Kamala rising to power, potentially rising to power. Is this something where Biden passes away and then Kamala is now in office for an eensy weensy amount of time, because she can be, again, reflected as, okay, position of authority, and then Trump is still in a position of authority because he's going to be inaugurated in. Do you see what we're kind of like? This is what we're seeing. This is what astrologers are seeing, and that's why they're confused, okay? Now we're also getting into Mercury retrograde territory as well as Mars retrograde territory. The Mars retrograde is happening in Leo. Both Trump, JD Vance, and I believe RFK, if we have the accurate birth time, are all Leo rising. So it's going to be happening in their first house of self and identity, like who they are in the bigger scheme of things, as well as this Mercury retrograde happening in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is traveling, it's foreign matters. It's also like, Mercury doesn't do well in Sagittarius because it tells white lies, it exaggerates, it stretches the truth, it overpromises, it exasperates things. So to have a Mercury, speaking, talking, writing, communication, attention to detail, things like numbers, voting, ballots, complications, flukes with technology, with traveling, all of these things lead me down more of a path of thinking that this is really going to be so personal to Trump, because this Mercury retrograde is going to be at 22 degrees, which is going to directly to the degree oppose Trump's sun. Things like misinformation with numbers, things like with the internet being shut down that has to do with like foreign countries, things like aggression with foreign countries or foreign relations and relationships. There could be things around territory. There could be things again around with the borders, foreigners, language, anything that has to do with transportation and violence within that transportation. That's all I can fit here. Go look at the dates on Twitter, and that's all I have for you now. I'll try to talk about it again more